Michael Jordan owns 143 acres of secluded North Carolina mountain land with a main house, guest cabin, two massive barns, private walking trails along a creek, and views that stretch across layered ridges for miles. That's just how the most famous athlete in history, worth $3.6 billion, chose to disappear into the wilderness where nobody can find him. Let's talk about the GOAT's quiet country lifestyle. Post-retirement, his massive Carolina ranch, and why he chose this place to disappear from the spotlight. From global icon to a silent country lifestyle. Here's the thing about Michael Jordan that most people don't get. He didn't retire from basketball to become more visible. He retired to vanish. And I'm not talking about some half-hearted, I'm taking time off kind of disappearing. I'm talking about buying 143 acres of secluded mountain land in North Carolina, tucking a ranch so deep into the trees that you'd never know it existed unless someone told you exactly where to look. That's the level of intentional privacy we're dealing with. Jordan could have gone anywhere. LA, Miami, New York, places where billionaires cluster and celebrity is part of the infrastructure. But he chose North Carolina. Specifically, he chose the exclusive Snowbird Mountain community, a 1,250-acre private enclave where seclusion isn't just a feature, it's the entire point. Why North Carolina? Simple, it's home. Jordan was born in Brooklyn, but his family moved to Wilmington, North Carolina when he was young, and that's where he actually grew up. That's where he got cut from his high school varsity team. That's where he developed the chip on his shoulder that fueled everything that came after. North Carolina isn't some random tax haven or investment play. It's where his roots are. And when you're the most famous person on the planet, roots matter more than you'd think. Because here's what happens when you're Michael Jordan. You can't go anywhere without being Michael Jordan. Every restaurant, every airport, every grocery store, people recognize you, want photos, want autographs, want a piece of your time. And for someone as obsessively private and controlling as MJ, that's not just annoying. It's suffocating. So he built himself an escape. A place where the outside world literally can't reach him without permission. A gently curving gravel drive cuts through dense woodland before revealing the ranch, which is deliberately set apart from roads, neighbors, and any line of sight. From a distance, the residence almost disappears into its surroundings. Dark wood siding, natural stone, pitched roofs that blend into the forest. The architecture follows the landscape instead of fighting it. And that tells you everything about this phase of Jordan's life. He's done proving things, he's done performing. The ranch isn't about making a statement or impressing anyone, it's about control, privacy, the ability to move through his days without being watched, judged, or documented. But to understand why Jordan built this life, you've got to understand how he became Michael Jordan in the first place. Because the man who chose silence was forged in noise, pressure, and an obsession with being perfect. From rejection to royalty, the rise of Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. His mother, Dolores, worked in finance, steady, precise, disciplined. His father, James R. Jordan Sr., worked as an equipment supervisor, practical, hands-on, grounded. When Michael was still young, the family relocated to Wilmington, North Carolina, trading the chaos of New York for a calmer place where persistence mattered more than noise. That move quietly shaped everything that followed. It gave young Michael room to compete, to fail, and to try again without constant scrutiny. And fail he did. At Emsley A. Laney High School, Jordan played basketball, baseball, and football. But basketball was where his focus lived. As a sophomore, he tried out for the varsity team and got cut. His height was listed at about 5 feet 11 inches. Not short, but not exceptional either. The rejection stayed with him, not as a discouragement, but as fuel. Instead of walking away, he trained harder. He played on the junior varsity team like every possession was personal, like every game was a rebuttal to the coach who didn't pick him. That summer, his body changed. He grew nearly 4 inches, but more importantly, his confidence hardened into something unbreakable. By his junior year, he earned a varsity spot and never looked back. He averaged 25 points per game in his final 2 seasons and dropped 30 points at the 1981 McDonald's All-American game. By then, college scouts had no doubts left. Jordan chose the University of North Carolina, and it was there, inside a disciplined system under legendary coach Dean Smith, that he learned patience, timing, and restraint. As a freshman, he averaged 13.5 points per game and was named ACC Freshman of the Year. But the moment that changed everything came in the 1982 NCAA championship game. With 15 seconds remaining against Georgetown, Jordan calmly rose and hit a jump shot over Patrick Ewing. The ball fell through. The championship was secured. Years later, Jordan said that moment reshaped his belief in himself. From that point on, he trusted that the game would slow down when it mattered most. After 3 seasons at North Carolina, and after winning the Naismith and Wooden Player of the Year awards in 1984, he left school early for the NBA draft. 2 teams passed on him. The Chicago Bulls did not. That decision quietly altered the future of basketball. Jordan entered the NBA with a style that was sharp, direct, and unrelenting. He attacked the rim, defended with intent, and played every night like something needed to be proven. And over the next 15 years, he did exactly that. 6 championships, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and a global brand that transcended sports. But his career wasn't linear. He retired twice. The first time came after the murder of his father in 1993, when he stepped away to play minor league baseball, a tribute to his dad's dream and a search for peace outside basketball's pressure. He came back. Then he retired again in 1999 after the Bulls' dynasty ended. He came back again for 2 final seasons with the Washington Wizards, not for glory, but because he still loved the game. Each departure and return reflected a man searching for balance rather than applause. And eventually, he found that balance, not on a court, but on 143 acres of North Carolina mountain land where silence replaced the roar of sold-out arenas. And what he built there? It's unlike anything you'd expect from the most competitive person who ever lived. The Carolina Ranch, where excellence meets isolation. Let's walk through this property because the details reveal everything about who Jordan is when nobody's watching. The ranch sits within the exclusive Snowbird Mountain community, a 1,250-acre private enclave where privacy isn't just valued, it's enforced. Jordan's estate covers approximately 143.9 acres, and getting there requires navigating a gently curving gravel drive that cuts through dense woodland. By the time you reach the house, you've left civilization completely behind. From a distance, the residence almost disappears. Dark wood siding, natural stone, pitched roofs, it all blends into the forest, allowing the landscape to lead and the architecture to follow. As you approach, multiple connected structures come into view, linked by wide wooden porches, rustic railings, and stone steps that follow the natural slope of the land. The grounds are maintained but not manicured. Ferns, shrubs, flowering plants, and pine needles form a living surface that changes with the seasons. Light filters through tall trees before reaching the house, keeping every angle soft, restrained, and quiet. The main residence was built in 2002 and spans 2,492 square feet, which, for context, is shockingly modest for someone worth $3.6 billion. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and 2 half-baths. A wide covered porch anchors the home, centered around a stone fireplace and opening onto expansive terraces that overlook fenced green pastures and layered mountain views. Outdoor living isn't an accessory here, it's central. Porches and terraces function as true extensions of the interior, meaning Jordan spends as much time outside as in. That's intentional. When you've spent 15 years in packed arenas under artificial lights, open air and natural silence become luxury. A short covered breezeway connects the main house to a mountain-style guest cabin built in 1999. The cabin measures 1,362 square feet, includes 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and a large porch. It's designed for guests or family while preserving distance and privacy between spaces. Because even when people visit, MJ wants control over proximity. Inside the main house, the design language is all about calm and volume. High wooden ceilings with exposed beams establish a sense of space, while wide plank floors carry a warm, aged tone. A central stone fireplace anchors the main living area, surrounded by deep seating, solid wood tables, and low, warm lighting. Nothing here seeks attention. Everything invites time. The living space flows naturally into a dining area centered around a long table positioned before floor-to-ceiling windows. Daylight enters gently, while evenings rely on understated fixtures. The design favors comfort and continuity over display. Meals meant to linger, not impress. The kitchen follows the same philosophy. Wooden cabinetry, a large central island, stone surfaces, wide windows looking back into the trees. It feels practical, grounded, lived in, not staged. Private rooms maintain that rhythm. Bedrooms are quiet and open, shaped by natural light and minimal furnishings. Bathrooms are bright and clean, finished in neutral materials that emphasize ease. Privacy here is reinforced not just by walls, but by the surrounding forest that naturally shields the property. Now here's where it gets wild. The land itself is fully functional. A large barn exceeding 1,800 square feet includes an office, bathroom, secondary storage rooms, and loft storage above. A second oversized barn sits within a separately fenced pasture, providing space for livestock, equipment, or whatever Jordan wants. There's also a pole barn for equipment storage and a nearby workshop supporting agricultural or equestrian operations. Beyond the buildings, the property unfolds into gardens, an orchard, and scenic walking trails that follow Little Pine Creek as it flows toward Lake Glenville. Picnic areas with panoramic views are positioned throughout the land, reinforcing the estate's role as a private gathering space. Whether for family reunions, intimate events, or just Jordan walking alone in silence. 3 gated entrances secure the estate, ensuring privacy and controlled access at every point. You don't just drop by. You're either invited or you're not getting in. This ranch reflects a chapter of Jordan's life shaped by control, distance, and intentional quiet. A place designed not for momentary impact, but for lasting presence. Here, scale serves privacy, design serves calm, and success is measured not by visibility, but by how completely the outside world is kept at bay. But North Carolina offered seclusion. Florida? That's where Jordan found a different kind of retreat. One shaped by light, water, and luxury without the mountain isolation. The Florida Fortress, luxury by the links. While the Carolina Ranch is about disappearing, Jordan's Florida estate is about controlled access to the good life. Tucked inside the ultra-exclusive Bears Club in Jupiter, Florida, this property is valued at $17 million and spans approximately 9,100 square feet, more than triple the size of the Carolina house. It sits just 1 mile from the beach, surrounded by a Jack Nicklaus-designed golf course, which is basically MJ's version of heaven. This isn't his primary residence, but it's a carefully chosen second home built for routine, proximity to golf, and the ability to host family without sacrificing privacy. Crossing the gated entrance, the outside world fades immediately. A stone-lined drive moves through manicured gardens where tall palms, precise hedges, and smooth green lawns frame the structure. The muted gray roof and clean lines give the house a composed presence, confident without excess. Inside, the double-height foyer fills with natural light pouring through expansive glass panels. The interior language is modern and restrained. White walls, warm wood accents, polished stone surfaces that reflect light rather than dominate it. The main living room rises dramatically, anchored by a sculptural chandelier and a dark marble feature wall. Art pieces are bold but deliberate, adding character without overwhelming the space. The kitchen and dining areas continue that rhythm. Stone countertops, seamless cabinetry, soft lighting. Everything feels precise, uncluttered, easy to move through. This is a house designed for daily living, not display. The primary bedroom shifts the tone toward quiet comfort. Wood floors, neutral palette, large area rugs softening the space. Sliding glass doors open to tropical greenery, blurring the line between indoors and out. And in one corner, a simple exercise bike sits near the window, a reminder that discipline remains part of Jordan's everyday life even in retirement. Nearby, the home gym functions as a private training space rather than a showpiece. Floor-to-ceiling windows face the pool, mirrors widen the room, and modern equipment lines the walls. It's efficient, bright, and focused, designed to maintain routine without distraction. The walk-in closet feels architectural in its own right. Bathed in natural light, it features full-height cabinetry, a central island, and clean finishes that emphasize order. The adjoining bathroom follows a spa-like approach with a freestanding tub near tall windows, a glass-enclosed shower, and stone textures that soften light throughout the day. Outside, the house opens fully. The long rectangular pool sits at the center of a private outdoor setting framed by palms, lounge chairs, and stone walkways. This is where time slows down, where family gatherings replace schedules, and where privacy becomes the defining luxury. Jordan purchased this Florida property because it's close to world-class golf courses and offers beachfront proximity without the chaos of Miami or Fort Lauderdale. It's luxury without spectacle, access without exposure. And just like his properties, Jordan's car collection reflects that same philosophy: controlled power, personal satisfaction, and zero need for attention. The garage, power and silence. Jordan's car collection isn't about quantity or flexing on Instagram. It's about having machines that match his standards: rare, powerful, and built for personal enjoyment rather than public display. Let's start with the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, which fits into Jordan's life as a moment of controlled modern power. He chose it during a period when innovation mattered more than nostalgia, drawn to a car that blends Ferrari tradition with cutting-edge hybrid technology. It's usually taken out on quiet Florida roads, often late in the day when traffic thins and the drive becomes personal. The design sits low and sharp, wrapped in sculpted body lines and carbon fiber details that feel purposeful rather than decorative. The car moves with instant response and composed aggression, reaching 100 kilometers per hour in under 2.5 seconds, yet remaining calm and planted when driven gently. Current value sits around $500,000, and for Jordan, it's a private release. Not something to be displayed, but something to be felt. Then there's the Pininfarina Battista, which represents a later chapter where rarity and silence outweigh drama. Jordan selected it because only a handful exist worldwide, turning the car into a personal statement rather than a public one. It's typically driven on short, deliberate outings, sometimes with close friends. The exterior feels sculpted like modern art, while the interior is hand-finished, minimal, and insulated from noise. Fully electric, the car glides in near silence before delivering explosive acceleration, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 2 seconds. Valued at more than $2 million, the Battista reflects a lifestyle where power no longer needs sound, and speed exists purely for personal satisfaction. These cars mark a stage where performance becomes personal, where control replaces competition, and where the thrill is private rather than public. Jordan doesn't need to prove he can afford supercars. He's got $3.6 billion. He buys what he wants because he wants it, not because anyone's watching. And that $3.6 billion? Let's talk about how he built it, because the wealth story here is on a completely different level than any other athlete in history. The Empire. How $3.6 billion happens. Here's a number that puts everything in perspective. When Michael Jordan entered the NBA in 1984, the average player's salary was $850,000 a year. Jordan signed a 7-year rookie contract worth $6 million total with the Chicago Bulls. At the time, it looked modest. In hindsight, it became the smallest number in one of the most powerful earning stories in modern sports. Across 16 NBA seasons, Jordan earned a total of $93,772,500 in salary. His peak came late. In the 1996-97 season, he became the first athlete in history to earn more than $30 million in a single year, followed by $33,140,000 the next season. Even so, his entire basketball salary represents only a tiny fraction of his wealth. The real engine? Endorsements. Specifically, Nike. In 1984, Jordan signed with Nike for $500,000 per year, which seemed aggressive at the time. But that deal transformed everything. The Air Jordan brand now generates more than $6.6 billion in annual revenue for Nike. From royalties alone, Jordan earns approximately $80 million to $100 million every year, with some years exceeding $120 million. Over his lifetime, endorsements with Nike, Gatorade, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Hanes, and others have paid him more than $2 billion. That's not salary. That's purely endorsement money. His face, his name, his brand printing cash year after year. But ownership changed everything. In 2010, Jordan paid $175 million to acquire majority control of the Charlotte Hornets. By 2014, that stake pushed him officially into billionaire status, the first athlete billionaire in history. In 2023, he sold most of his ownership in a deal valuing the team at $3 billion, increasing his net worth by roughly $1.1 billion while retaining a minority stake. Today, Michael Jordan's net worth is estimated at $3.6 billion. Not million, billion. With a B. To put that in context, Shaq made $500 million. Barkley made $90 million. Jordan made $3.6 billion. He's operating in a completely different financial universe. That wealth supports a lifestyle built on privacy and control. A $50 million private jet, multiple luxury homes across Florida, North Carolina, Illinois, and Utah, and a vast Carolina ranch where income no longer chases attention. The numbers tell a clear story. Basketball made him famous. Business made him permanent. And now that permanence funds a life where he answers to no one. A life built around family, routine, and the freedom to move at his own pace without anyone watching. The private kingdom. Life on his own terms. So what does Michael Jordan's actual daily life look like now? It's calm, private, and carefully controlled. Far from the noise of competition, his days are built around family, routine, and personal space rather than public attention. At the center of his world is his wife, Yvette Prieto, whom he married in April 2013. Their relationship is deliberately kept out of the spotlight. Together they focus on raising their twin daughters, born in February 2014. Jordan is fiercely protective of his children, choosing privacy over publicity and keeping their lives as normal as possible despite his global fame. In 2019, he became a grandfather through his daughter Jasmine, a role he's embraced quietly, with close family moments valued more than public celebration. Jordan's daily routine reflects discipline without pressure. Mornings often include light training, stretching, or time in the gym, not for performance, but for health and structure. He spends long hours reading, watching sports, and following basketball from a distance, offering guidance only when asked. Golf remains one of his most consistent passions. It's both exercise and meditation, often played with a small circle of longtime friends rather than large social groups. The man is obsessed, spending hours on the course, refining his game with the same intensity he once brought to basketball. Travel today is selective and purposeful. Jordan splits his time between his carefully chosen homes, favoring places that offer privacy, water views, and separation from crowds. Recent trips tend to be quiet vacations, boating, fishing, time on the coast where he can disconnect completely. Socially, Jordan keeps his circle small. He remains close to trusted friends he's known for decades, preferring loyalty and familiarity over new connections. Even in relaxed settings, he values structure, punctuality, and personal boundaries, traits that still define him long after retirement. In this stage of life, Michael Jordan is no longer defined by motion or momentum, but by intention. His personal world is shaped by calm choices, steady routines, and a deep commitment to the people closest to him. The Carolina ranch, the Florida estate, the cars, the philanthropy, they're all pieces of a larger story about transformation. Jordan turned rejection into obsession, obsession into dominance, and dominance into a wealth empire that will outlast him by generations. He built a life where he controls every variable, where privacy is the ultimate luxury, and where success is no longer measured by championships or endorsements, but by the ability to wake up every day and do exactly what he wants without anyone's permission. And that's a wrap on Michael Jordan's insane Carolina ranch and his insane lifestyle post-retirement. Which aspect of it impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And for more such interesting peeks into the lives of Black billionaires, take a look at Black Status.